Hey y'all, it's Nay. Welcome back to my channel. So I just want to give God, a little bit of thank yous. And I know there's some people that's going to be able to understand what I'm saying. And if you do, you could chime in, whatever. I really just want to thank God for giving me the ability to really pay attention and listen. Like a lot of people are not self-aware, people aware. They struggle with just having awareness. And I really want to thank God for blessing me with the ability to always be aware. And when I say that, I'm saying like when the fact that God is able to show me signs or give me clues or lead me, direct me, and I'm able to pay attention to my surroundings and see what is being brought to me, that's very big. That's very big to me. And I want to thank God for, of course, helping me to get to this point. Being able to hear God correctly and being able to do exactly what he needs you to do, walking in your obedience, is not something that you should just take lightly. There's a lot of folks who might have gotten the message that God is giving to them, but they have not done anything with it. So the fact that I am obedient enough to listen and do what God needs me to do, I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful for that because I see people all the time who can be very, very intuitive, who I know to have had a good relationship with God, who's always been led by the Holy Spirit, who, usually always make the right choices or is able to pay attention to their surroundings and figure out the clues and stuff that God is trying to give them. And now being where they're not acting on that, they're being disobedient, or they're questioning if they saw God clearly for the 1500th time. And God is he gets a bit annoyed and frustrated with those type, because it's like he's answering your prayers, he's showing you the signs, he's telling you what it is, and you're still not listening. So for the folks that when God tells us something, and even if we don't agree with it at that moment, or even if we don't understand how we're going to accomplish this, we still do it. God is so pleased with that. The fact that you're able to still follow his directions without knowing how it might have you ending up, right? The fact that you're able to do what he needs you to do without asking 100 million questions if you heard him correctly. The fact that you're able to just walk out on faith and not be scared or be fearful of the devil, have a fearful mindset where you can't go or start or do. I really want to thank God for me and my growth and how far I've come, because I remember being that woman who wasn't too sure at times when it came to my intuition and wasn't sure if I was listening correctly to the assignments or things God needed or put over my life. And to be in a space now where I can say that I'm proud of myself because I know that I've actually been listening and doing exactly what he needs me to do. It's amazing. And y'all, I've been on a crazy assignment. Literally this whole year, from last December to this December coming up, I've been on a crazy assignment. Okay? It's giving Esther. This is definitely a Esther time in my life. It's like God put me through a lot of the chapters in the Bible. So I had a moment of being like Jonah, where God put me in a well because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing as far as speaking up and telling the world about my story or just sharing the gospel on YouTube, right? So me not really committing to that and just sharing the testimony of like my upbringing with the church. I explained in that video, if you guys scroll through all the way when I was talking about my old church, the Holy Temple Church. And that was a big deal because it felt like I was in the well because I didn't never speak on that. Because I really didn't want to speak on that. I didn't want to speak about that. I didn't want to feel like I was aiming at someone or whatever, But I still had to move in my obedience. And I feel like I got through that part, right? I also felt like in the beginning, of course, before even having to speak on it, I was a Joseph. I don't have the best relationship with my siblings and my family. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like the one that was very special, where my dad always, like, I still probably have the best relationship out of all of my siblings with my father. And it still ain't like the best relationship. But it was like as a child, I always had this different spark or something unique about me, which makes me feel or puts me in a position as a Joseph and having, certain family members that felt the type of way or whatever about, things that I really just can't control. So I've been through a lot of different chapters where, I had to speak up about things or back away from things, or God had to humble me, or God had to put me here because I'm not speaking up on things. And I'm happy that I can say that during this assignment that God has had me on, feeling like Esther, right? Esther season, God putting me aside for a husband. And I'm like, huh? Who? And then God showing me who my husband is. And I'm like, huh? What? But still being obedient and following through with the assignment, reaching out, saying everything that I have to say, right? I'm actually very, very proud of myself, even though I didn't want to come into this assignment, if we're being honest. I didn't want to, have to go through this. I didn't. And if a lot of times with these kingdom spouses and stuff like that is with relationships that you might have been in or people that you might have known in the past and y'all went y'all separate ways. So I'm looking at it like, I don't want to backtrack. Like, hell no. So I never wanted to take on to this assignment, but I still did it because I wanted God to be proud of me. I wanted God to understand that I can handle whatever. And if you're putting me on this, it's going to help me down the line for something greater. And during this time, y'all, it has, I've been more vulnerable. It's been easy for me to express how I feel, whether people is going to accept it, like it. I'm in that mood where it's like, I'm going to say what I have to say, not on no disrespectful things, but I am going to speak out and say what needs to be said, And it's like, I don't think that I would have really got to that point as quickly if God didn't put me on this assignment, like getting sharper with boundaries and being able to speak up and being able to tell someone about themselves or tell them about their life choices and how God is not pleased. Being a messenger for God it's not fun all the time because people are looking at you like, who sent you? Why are you chosen to be the prophet or the messenger? So just dealing with that this year was kind of interesting with people not, really wanting to listen to my advice or things that I have to say, but then still seeing them kind of like listening or being questionable or curious about what I'm saying because it still makes sense, right? So again, I've been on many assignments and journeys, and I feel like this one had to be the most enlightening one because I learned about myself. I learned that I could be vulnerable. I could be more open to bring someone in, to kind of let them into my world or my diary. I'm a writer, so I love writing how I feel and just being able to share or open up about how I feel to other people and just being more open, right, and authentic for people to relate. So it's been a journey, but I don't regret anything. I don't regret what God has led me to do when it comes to opening up to certain people and expressing how I feel to certain people. I don't regret it because it's like, at the end of the day, God told me to do it. So it really made me stronger. It made me more confident in myself. It made me be able to speak up and say whatever now because I done did everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I really am proud of myself and I don't regret it. Like, I don't regret it. I don't like how the outcome was on many occasions, but I still do not regret it. Like, there's some things that, you just can't control. You can't control people. I can't control how someone reacts to what I'm saying. I just have to make sure I say what God needs me to say. And it's up to them to react or whatever, however they want, So just the way that I've been handling things, handling rejection, handling, feeling neglected, going through the silence and everything like that. It's really been helping me and building me up. And I know that this message is going to be relatable for some of my true divine feminines out here who has probably been on many assignments, some similar to what I've been on, and some may be totally different. Who knows? It could be in different capacities, but God was still using us in the same way for us to become more vulnerable or for us to get more control over our lives, right? I was called to do many things this year. So I was practicing more about celibacy. I was practicing when it comes to like smoking and stuff, like not smoking too much. Also, I was called to with the alcohol. So I haven't drank alcohol in I think about a month now. So, and it's like, these are things that I never was like controlled by these things, but I've learned that it just didn't do me any justice. With alcohol, I'm such a not a lightweight. Like what is the other word? I'm not a lightweight. So it's like, it takes a while for me to actually feel it. So I could be in a club or I'm out with my friends and people is feeling all drunk and tipsy and I'm still trying to feel it. And then I don't feel it until I get home, and now I'm pissed because I'm home trying to sleep and I got a fucking tummy ache. So that's kind of why I got tired of alcohol for myself, is because I'm such a hard body. And when the alcohol finally hits, the party is over or I'm home, and I feel like I might as well just get rid of it because it's killing my body anyway. So if it's not helping me to be turned up and having a good time, and I got to just be turned and have a good time sober, then I might as well not even have to drink. But obviously, if it's like me having a celebration for myself, some type of accomplishment or something, I might pop me a little bottle of champagne. But as far as me just drinking just to drink for no reason and no real celebration, I haven't been doing that. But again, that's just me. I still tell my friends, hey, do what you do. This is just what I do. This is just what I was doing. Like, I just needed to just get a break for myself. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't change because I changed, So through it all, I'm happy with the overall experience and stuff like that, because it's helped me a lot, It's definitely helped me a lot, and it was on my terms. It's like nobody is forcing me to stop. Nobody said, oh, you need to stop doing this to be this, or to, no, it wasn't none of that. It was the actual me being grown and looking at my life and trying to see if I could go without and change things up, just a little test runs. And I do little test runs and then end up going for a long period of time. And I'm like, okay, well, I might as well keep it going now until I feel led that I could, treat myself. So that's just a little background. But I want to say, I'm proud of folks who's been on the same journey as me and who's been, doing everything that God has been telling them to do, even if you haven't been getting the responses from others in the way that you expected. So catch you on my next video. Bye.